Hello everyone. Today we are taking a deep dive into this Reuters News Blue Origin rocket explodes on launchpad in a setback for bid to catch Musk's SpaceX. We are going to break down exactly what happened here and the one question every Amazon shareholder should be asking right now. But before that, you are watching Decode Daily News, where we take the biggest business and finance stories and decode them so anyone can understand. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now. So let us get into it. An uncrewed Blue Origin New Glenn rocket exploded on a Florida launch pad during a test on Thursday. So that line really caught my attention, and here is why this is not a minor glitch. This is a full explosion on the pad, fire, smoke, the whole thing. And what makes it hit harder is the timing. Blue Origin was not testing some early prototype. This was their fourth launch prep. They had already done 3 flights. So when something like this happens at this stage, it raises real questions. Let us see what is written ahead in this same news paragraph in a major setback for Jeff Bezos' space venture as it seeks to narrow the gap with Elon Musk's IPO-bound SpaceX. Now sit with that for a second. The gap between these two companies is not small. SpaceX is already years ahead in development. Blue Origin has been spending billions over a decade just to get competitive. And right now, with SpaceX eyeing what could be the first trillion-dollar US market, debut this explosion widens that gap even more. And this is where the real story is. Blue Origin was preparing the rocket for its 4th launch, which was due to deliver 48 Amazon LEO satellites into low Earth orbit. And that one line changes everything. Because this was not just a test flight. This was tied directly to Amazon's satellite internet ambitions, their answer to Starlink. Amazon needs this rocket working. Blue Origin needs Amazon's business. And Amazon's investors need both of them to get their act together. So when the rocket blows up, the fallout goes beyond just space. And then came the number that changed everything. It comes just 2 days after NASA awarded Blue Origin a $188 million contract to land rovers on the moon's surface. Pause right there. $188 million, just awarded, 2 days before the explosion. That contract was meant to signal that Blue Origin was back on track, a serious player in NASA's Artemis program. And then this happens. That is a reputation hit that money alone cannot fix. Now this is the part I could not move past. Very rough day, but we'll rebuild whatever needs rebuilding and get back to flying. It's worth it, Bezos said in a post on X, and here is the part that hits different. Bezos kept it short. He did not panic publicly. And honestly, that measured response matters. Because investor confidence in long-term projects lives and dies on founder tone. But the real test is not what he says today. It is how fast they actually rebuild and what the investigation reveals. So that is exactly where my take comes in. But real quick, before I give you my take, this video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. So what concerns me is not the explosion itself. Rockets fail. SpaceX has had dramatic failures too. What concerns me is the pattern. Blue Origin has been developing New Glenn for roughly a decade, and they are still at a stage where a hot fire test ends in a fireball. That is a long runway with a lot of cash burned. For anyone watching Amazon as an investment, this matters. Amazon is building its own satellite constellation to compete with Starlink. That entire plan depends on Blue Origin delivering. Delays here mean delays there. And in the broadband race, timing is everything. SpaceX is not standing still. They just ran their 12th Starship test. Partially successful, but moving forward. Blue Origin just moved backward. That gap in momentum is something every investor paying attention to the space economy should be tracking carefully. The space industry is real, it is growing, and it will produce winners. But not every player gets there. Watching which companies can actually execute, not just announce, tells you a lot about where the smart money is quietly paying attention. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Decode Daily News. And I want to hear from you. Do you think Blue Origin can realistically close the gap with SpaceX, or has this setback pushed them too far behind? Drop your honest take in the comments below.